What's up, guys? Welcome to another TikTok Live. I'm going to be drawing your suggestions, and whatever you guys want to learn how to draw, I'll show you how to do it. Starting off fresh, let's go with how to draw hands. How to draw hands. Bitch. So when drawing hands, I like to start with an isosceles trapezoid, which is basically just a rectangle where one end is longer than the other. So we'll just do something kind of like that. And then we'll do another rectangle on the side here. That indicates where your thumb goes. This is our palm here. And then we'll draw circles for every knuckle that goes on the hand. So we'll do one for the thumb, index, birdie, ring, pinky. Now, when we're drawing the fingers, I like to do what's called the peanut rule, where you draw a peanut, this shape right there. You just round it out and do another peanut shape, and round it out and do another peanut shape. And you can really do that to make any size finger you want. You can do animal fingers, dinosaur fingers, dragon fingers, human fingers, anything using that peanut rule. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to put it together on the hand. So we'll follow this circle right here. We'll do the peanut right there. We'll do one more on the end here. And that's our thumb. And then we'll do the same thing with our index finger. Peanut, peanut, peanut. Do the same thing with the birdie finger. Peanut, peanut, peanut. They don't have to be pretty either. I'm going really fast. I just want to show you guys how it's done. Let's do the ring finger. Peanut, peanut. One more. Do the same thing with the pinky. Peanut shape, peanut shape, peanut shape. So now we have all of our fingers and we have our thumb on here. Now we just have to connect them. So we'll do the webbing from the thumb to the index finger, the webbing between all the other fingers. Then we'll add some meat on the thumb down here, some meat on the palm of the hand here. And you put your wrist on there. And there you go. That's perfect for drawing a hand either facing down or facing up. And I did that really fast with a Sharpie. If you spend a little more time, you can make those hands look perfect. All right, let's move on to drawing eyes. And if you guys want to learn to draw anything specific, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep cruising through the greatest hits here. So let's do how to draw eyes. Bitch. So when drawing eyes, a lot of people draw them as these lemon shapes. They put the pupil in here, which there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're doing a certain style. But to draw the perfect eye, in my opinion, you would start with a circle. It's like a circle. It's not square. Square has corners. A circle goes square. And then now that we have the eyeball shape, we're just going to put the eyelids onto the eyeball. So let's put our tear duct here. Let's follow the top of the eyeball like this, and then round it across like that. Go from the tear duct here, down, and up. So now you have the perfect shape of the eye, and you have the shape of the eyelid around the eye. So when you put the eyebrows up here, however you're going to do them, you have the indent of your brow. Then you can just put your pupil and everything in here. And now you have an eye. And if you want, you could put lashes on there. There you go. And that is how you draw an eye. James Gilbert 395, thanks for the follow. Now let's carry on with some other things people like to learn how to draw until you guys have something specific you would like me to teach you how to draw. So let's go how to draw noses. Bitch. So there's all sorts of different ways to draw noses. There are so many different kinds of noses out there. But when I draw a nose, I like to start with the tip of the nose. So this nose would have another circle, just like the eye. And then you just do these upside down W or upside down U's for the nostrils. And then you can choose whatever kind of bridge you want. And if you're drawing, especially if you're doing a comic book style, I would just simplify this. And you would do the tip of the nose, and then you would just do the nostrils and call it good there. The problem is a lot of people try to really define the nose when they're drawing a woman, and it gets way too harsh. You want the features to be really soft. And you can also do fun things like you can put a kink in the nose. You could do like almost like an Owen Wilson or something like that. You could also point the nose, have the nose pointed down. The nose could be more square or have bumps and edges to it. There's so many different things you can do to create a unique nose. Let's go how to draw a face. A spooky fae person. I don't even know what a fae person is. Is it like a fairy? The Wolf Out, thanks for the follow. Yeah, is a fae, is that a fairy? Okay, so if we were gonna do like a spooky fae person, so let's scratch drawing a face for a minute. Let's go over here to this side. Let's go how to draw, oops, a spooky fae. And the comma is very important in that sentence. All right, so if I were to do, let me switch pens. Because this one I think will have a lot of lines in it, and if I'm using that Sharpie, it'll get a little too cluttered. So let's see, how do we want to do it? So let's do a mushroom. Which a mushroom is just this curved shape here. And then a lighter curve here, so not as harsh as the top. And then we're gonna have a little bit of the bottom showing here. And then we'll have the stem coming down here. Maybe put some little pieces of grass down here maybe. And then my favorite part of the mushroom is the underside of the cap. I love these, I never remember what they're called, the little fan looking things. And then they tend to have, sometimes they have these little like skirt things on them. Okay, so now we're actually, I want to put the fairy up on the mushroom here. I know I always want to play with them. But before I do too much detail here, let's put the fae on top. So let's do, for this one I'm going to do like the shoulder here. We'll have the arm like hanging down. So let's draw the shape of the arm. Then we'd have the back coming around here, something like this probably. Maybe, let's see, here. So we have the fairy's face here-ish. Or the fae. So maybe the fae's other hand is over here. It's kind of like leaning on its hand here. So this is its back. So we'd have its waist here. Then we'd have its booty back over here. You're getting a tattoo of Tinkerbell on a mushroom? Nice. This is a micron size 02. And then maybe like one leg's kind of coming down back here. But then it's going to be curving back up. Maybe we'll curve it more. Her heels will be here, but her legs are crossed. She's just relaxing on the back of the mushroom. Matt Zephyralis Zikania, thanks for the follow. So we have her kind of like this. Her wings would be coming off her back here. And probably here. Like that. Jesse J, thanks for the follow. Dennis, thanks for the follow. So now that we have the face here, let's do the line through the middle of the face so we can get all the structures put in. The eyes will go here-esque. Do a light nose. Some light lips. Ears. Yeah, a face. And then since the hand's kind of coming over here, I don't want to cover it too much. Let's have the hair kind of coming back here. We'll have it kind of coming around the shoulders here maybe. Then maybe we'll have some more like hanging down here. Okay, so we'd have her kind of on the mushroom here. Have her booty up here. Maybe see a little bit of each cheek. Have the something like that maybe. And so this is her, these are her heels here. So her feet would be like this. So her big toe would be here. You'd have each one of her other toes here. And you'd have the other foot kind of crisscrossing. Have the other big toes over here. Yeah, go ahead, screenshot it. The only rule is if you get it tattooed, you have to send me a picture. So let's use the white gel pen to kind of get rid of some of these underlying lines here. And then I think that we should probably have a little bit of side boob action going on because she's kind of like laying here. So we're just gonna have a little bit of side boob going there. Okay. As far as so we have her with she's on a mushroom, but you said I kind of ended up making her prettier instead of creepier. Just do a little bit of shading behind her arm here. Some here. Something like that, maybe. The mushroom would be shaded from her arm down here. And then underneath the mushroom cap would be a lot more shaded as well. So let's get some shading going in there. Some shading over here. But I mean, for a really fast Fae mushroom drawing, it's not too bad. Look at her. Thanks, mister. James, thanks for the follow. Pillsbury Ford, thanks for the follow. And then she'd probably have like butterflies kind of flying around her is my guess. That's probably pretty good. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. I think if I tried to add anything else to it by just drawing with pen, I think it would get a little too, it'd be too cluttered. I don't think you'd really be able to tell what was going on. Maybe there's a little rose down here. And there we go. TJ, thanks for the follow. Priscilla, thanks for the follow. 469 likes. Thank you, guys. All right, what's next? Oh, Kaylee, it's meant to be then, right? Rose is a really pretty middle name. David, thanks for the follow. All right, what should we draw next? Should we go back to how to draw a face? So let's do how to draw a face. So when drawing a face, I like to start with a circle. If you guys like to draw, you know that this is how artists do circles. They just like scribble until it gets round enough for them to be happy. But we're doing a circle, not a square, because a square has corners. A circle goes forever. And then we'll draw a line down the middle. This is the way I like to draw faces. Obviously, there are so many different ways to draw faces. Joe, thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, if you guys share the video, it helps me grow as an artist and helps me be able to do more live feeds like this for you guys. But a lot of people draw faces with like an oval shape, kind of like this, and then they put in their features here like this. I like to do it with a circle because it makes it easier to change the jaw shape. So if you're gonna open the mouth or make it scream or smile or smirk or anything like that, it's much easier, at least in my opinion, to add the jaw later. Priscilla, thank you very much for sharing. Daniel, thank you for following. Kaylee, thank you for sharing. So what I like to do is I'll come in and I'll put the eye line here, and we'll put the nose line here. And then this line is where our mouth will go, the bottom of the circle. For the nose, like we did before, we're gonna follow the same rules. I like to do a circle for the tip of the nose, and then let's mark how wide the eye should go on the line here. Portions, thanks for the follow. Syntax error, thank you very much. 13 and lashes, thank you very much for the follow. So I would do, let's just put the eyes on here. So we're gonna follow the same rule that we followed up here for doing the eyes. We'll start with a circle and then we'll put the eyelids on top. So let's just go ahead and put some eyelids on here. Doesn't have to be super pretty. And the mouth would go right here. Let's give it kind of like an open, maybe like a shocked, like, right? And if that's the case, then I like to do a circle for the chin, like the tip of the chin. And then you can put that on there like that. And then if you're not familiar with drawing faces or you're not used to drawing faces, a golden rule is the eye line and the nose line are where your ear will start and stop. So your ear will start here and then stop down there. And then same thing over here. Yeah, we just drew a rose right here. I can show you guys how to draw flowers too if you'd like. And then basically the circle, the one problem with the circle is it makes the forehead just a little too short. Like that would be your hairline maybe, but I like to extend it just a little bit. Make sure that head's the right shape. You could put some, if he's doing like a, right, his eyebrows would probably be up. Maybe you can only see the pupils. And then his hair could be something like that maybe. How do you measure / place the eye and nose lines on the circle again? Great question, I'll show you again. So when you're drawing a face, do the circle, right? That's more of an oval, but then I would do a line down the middle, because then that's the line that your nose and everything will be on. And then about halfway down the circle, we'll draw a line that goes straight across. And then about halfway between that line and the bottom, we'll do another one. Now that's a little close, but faces are all different shapes. And then so this is your nose line. And then spacing the eyes, I just try to think, like if you can go look in the mirror if you want, but I just try to think the nose bridge is probably going to be about this big, and the eye, the tear ducts, the eyes usually start just outside the nose. And there you have, it looks like a wiener with balls. But now you have the bridge of the nose and the spacing of the eyes, and then you can put the eyes right there. Flower tutorial, yeah, we could do that. The Loomis method, I've never even heard of that. Let me look it up. The Loomis method is a drawing technique that uses grids to represent the human head from various angles accurately. This technique was developed by American illustrator Andrew Loomis in the 1940s. Yeah, so it's essentially the exact same thing. So it sounds like the Loomis method really is just putting these lines on as a grid. Because like if we were to draw the face looking like down at an angle, we would just do this, right? We'd do a circle, and then we would follow the shape of the circle on the outside. And then now you could do the same thing. You just have to curve with the shape of the circle. And now you could do the same thing. The tip of your nose would go here. You'd draw your bridge on here. Your one eye would go here. Your other eye would kind of be tucked in a little bit. You put your cheeks on. Your mouth would be down here. You put your chin on this line. Your ear would come back here. Your hair. But I think from reading that and from the pictures I'm seeing, it looks like it's primarily the idea of just putting a grid so that you know where everything should go. Let's do a flower now, unless you guys have more questions about the face. And then we can do an ear, no problem. Ears are interesting because they don't look like ears unless you put them on a head. Ears look stupid. The lines are just to guide you, to show you where everything should go. It's just like finding a middle line. So like your eyes would go on this line, your nose would go on this line, your mouth would go on this line. But if you were to turn your head, it's not going to look flat anymore. It's going to be curved. So that middle line will be curved like this, which means the eye lines will be curved, nose line will be curved, mouth line will be curved. And then you just have to place everything in the appropriate spots along those grids. Annie, thanks for the follow. Yeah, and that's a really fast explanation too. I can go into it more in depth if you'd like, but basically the lines are just to help you put everything in the right spot. So let's go over how to draw a rose. So I wish I could make it only focus on the paper and never focus on my hand. So how to draw a rose. Bitch. Yeah, I can show you how to draw bodies. Jesus, welcome back. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Bob, thanks for the share. Yeah, you guys, if you share the live feed, it gets more people on the live feed with us. It helps me draw this more and it gets us more traction. So the more live feeds we get, the more often, or the more shares we get, the more often I can do this with you guys. Just chilling? Nice. Odie, thanks for the follow. Okay, so when drawing a rose, it's basically a shape. You just have to learn how to dissect it, kind of like the face over here. So I'm going to show you how to like dissect it, and then I'll show you how to draw it. Bootsy, what did I use to help me learn when I started drawing? I honestly would just draw everything I loved. So imitation was huge for me. So I loved Jurassic Park. So when I was a kid, I would just pause the movie and I would draw my favorite scenes. I would draw trees. I'd draw the dinosaurs. People took me a long time to figure out. In comic books as well, I would draw all my favorite comic books. I would use tracing paper. I would put a piece of paper like side by side with the comic and draw the pages. And I would practice drawing the comic book characters in different poses. I would draw my own comic book characters. So I think imitation is the best. So I think it's best to find things that you love, that you think would be a cool drawing or that are already a cool drawing, and then just try to redraw it. Because the more that you draw, the more you get used to what styles you like. Like you might like cross-hatching, you might like pen and ink, pencil. Just kind of bounce around until you figure out what's your favorite thing. But I feel like in doing that, you will have tons of practice. And I mean, you could trace a hand 1,000,000 times, and eventually you're going to be like, okay, I know how to draw a hand, you know? Yeah, cartoonish, anything cartoonish is really fun because there are no rules. You can change the anatomy, the perspective, the proportions. Really fun. More pain from Moon, thanks for the follow. All right. So for the rose, I'm going to show you the basic shape of it, and then I'll show you how to draw it petal by petal. So it's kind of a shape like this, kind of like the palm of our hand. It's like an isosceles trapezoid. And if you're not familiar with that, that's just a rectangle or a square where one end is longer than the other. And then I like to divide it down the middle, just like the face, but that's going to be the separation of two different petals. And basically all you would do is just stack on top of that. Yeah, digital is nice because you can do all sorts of different color and you don't have to worry about, like with watercolor, if it dries too fast, you get the layers, you get all the textures, which looks really cool, but sometimes it can be really detrimental if it dries too fast while you're painting a face or something like that. And then basically you just would like add on to this. And so now it kind of looks like Chinese takeout where the lids are open. But you can use this to create, this is your front petal. This one would be your back petal. You can curve out the bottom, the bell of the rose. And you're just basically going to do that again on the inside. So let's do that same shape, like that. Divide it. Do it again in here. And then now all you have to do is put the petals that are in the back and inside the rose. So you'd have something like this. And that's the basic shape, and you would just stack it on itself. You could add the leaves underneath the rose. You can add the stem. I like there to be like a kink in the stem. You could put a leaf coming off the side. But that's just the basic structure of a rose. Now, let me show you how I like to do them. That's going to be a great starting point. Once you get a little more comfortable, you can move on. But I like to start with curves like this. And then I like to make the petals all jagged. And then now you do the same thing. So you draw this line coming down like this. Draw the bell at the bottom there. And then you'd kind of just keep doing the same thing on the inside. So you'd have some coming like this. You'd have some shadows in here, some shadows in here. You'd have another petal coming out over here. Maybe something in the back here. But that's just like a really fast rose, and then you can put the petals down here. And you can draw your stem. You can put some thorns on there. Yeah, I can show you some tricks on the anatomy. But that's how I would draw a rose. I would start with everything. If you just start with shapes, if you don't think of the finished product and you think about shapes to start, I feel like that's the best way to draw pretty much anything. If you think about the finished product, you get so caught up in the little details that your proportions and everything like that get off. So I think it's much better to start with shapes because it's way easier to get the shapes proportionate and then build from there. So let's go over how to draw bodies. Did that help you with the rose? Curtis York, thanks for the follow. Awesome. Alex, thanks for the follow. So let's go over how to draw bodies. So anatomy. How to draw human anatomy / proportions. Ouch. Well, I think it's good to think of, a lot of people will think of arms as like rectangles connected, and rectangles connected make things too rigid. So I do think ovals are close. I would go with more of a teardrop shape, but that's just my personal preference. David, thank you very, very much for sharing. So if I were to draw a person, I would draw the oval for the head, right? And this is just for anatomy purposes to show you the proportions. I know that earlier I said we start with a circle, then we extend it to create the jaw. We're just going to start with the oval here as a placement, right? Okay. So we just put our neck on here. And then I think of the torso as almost like a rectangle, another isosceles trapezoid. So I'd put our shoulder lines on, and I'd do a rectangle like this. Jesus, thanks for the share. Mango, thank you very much for the follow. So now we have our upper body. Our chest would be about here, so we'd have like our nipples here. You could even draw a line down the middle too, if that helps you. So this box right here would be our rectangles, or our rectangles. These would be our ribs. And so you'd put a waist on here. And then you would put your butt on below, which is just like a round ball. So now you have your chest, ribs, lower stomach, and then you have your butt and crotch and everything right in this zone here. J Money, thanks for the follow. And then for the arms, I like to do circles where the shoulders should go. So I'll do a circle here, a circle here. So like your crotch would be, you could just do like a V line here to show like where the crotch would go. And then your legs, you could just do like the teardrop shape. And then do the same thing here. They're like diamond shapes. And then your feet would go down here, which you can do like a reverse triangle. Now this isn't very dynamic. It's just to show you proportions. But I can show you some cool tricks as well. Now, I like to think about how if I stand up and put my hands to my side, usually your fingertips come to about mid-thigh, somewhere around here. And then your elbows, if you put your arms to your side, your elbows come down right near the bottom of your ribs. So if our ribs are here, then that means our upper arms would come to about here. Which I've done these blades, right? The teardrop, the blade, whatever you want to call them. Reverse oval, I don't know. And then the next one would come down here. And then we'll just do triangles for the hands. But now our hands are, I drew them a little too long. They should be up here. But now our hands are matching these points on our thighs. And then you could just add, like, there's going to be a little bit of back showing on the back here. You have your line here, you have your feet here. But that's like basic body proportions like that. I just think it's really smart to think about where do things on your body reach? Your shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. And your knees would be a little bit below that. Ankles, feet, neck. Is it knock? Thanks for the follow. I see it. I've been trying to find those things that line up like I notice on a well-defined male. Yeah. Yeah, if you start going to like full-on anatomy, which is really smart if you know, if you want to draw superheroes or if you just want to draw bodies in general, it's really good to know your anatomy because you would know where muscles are going to insert and which direction fibers go and little things like that. So you'd know where to make the forearm a little juicier or where to make the hips a little juicier or things like that. And then, I mean, there are so many different body types that you really could play with this and make it any type of person you would want. So I'm going to show you one little trick. This is one of the best tricks ever, I feel like, for making a dynamic pose. And that is if you want to put the shoulders at an angle and the hips at an angle, but they need to be alternating angles. So if your shoulders are at an angle like this, that means your hips need to be like that, and then vice versa. Shoulders like that, hips should be like that. And I'll show you what I mean. So we would draw a face like this, right? We put our head on here. And then we'd put our neck here. But we would draw a line like this for the shoulder. I mean, this is very drastic. Or we'd do the same thing as over here. And then our hips would be the opposite. So that way you have your shoulders here. This is really good for like a zombie pose or like someone who's like sassy. Like let's say we're drawing a woman and she's got her hand out. She's got her arm to her side by her ribs. Her forearm's coming up like this. And then she's got her hand tipped like this with two fingers up and a cigarette in her fingers with the smoke coming out. And so now you have this cool dynamic pose. You could put the boobs on here. And then put this one like, maybe she has one hand here, maybe the other hand's on her hip, right? So she's got her other hip here. So let's say her hand's here. Then we go like, maybe like this. Right? And then since this hip's lower than the other one, we draw this leg first. And this one's higher. So maybe she's got her leg out like this. She's got maybe her foot down like this. But just drawing the diagonals, the alternating hips, is like huge. Like, look how much more personality this one has as opposed to this one, you know? And all you had to do was change the angle of the shoulders and the hips. Oh yeah. So if you guys get that notification, I won't ever draw anything that will get us in trouble. But if I sometimes I'll say certain things or whatever, just tell TikTok we're having a good time, okay? Yeah, if I'm drawing it like for a finished picture, then I would need to make sure that everything's perfect. Right now I'm just kind of scribbling real fast. If I were to define this, it would take me a lot longer. But yeah, that's how I would draw that. I mean, you could put once you put the hair on, she'll have like so much more spunk. And you could put like a flowing dress on too. Right, now we already have a full-on character. We could put her in some cool heels or something. Ooh la la. Spiders and Spores, thanks for the follow. Tyler Doodles, thanks for the follow. All right, let's do some ears. Let's go how to draw ears. Okay, so ears, like I said before, ears look like ears when they're put on a face. But if they're not on a face, they do not look like ears. They just look like something really weird. So it's like a C shape. And then you really just have to put the folds in. So I like to follow the shape of the ear. And you'll have another line that comes in here. You have another line here. Then you have your little, whatever that thing is. And like that's an ear, but it doesn't look like an ear because it's not on a face. But that's how you draw an ear. And then obviously you can add the earlobe. You can put earrings on it, piercings, whatever you want to do to it. Yeah, Nicholas, we can definitely do some hands. I'm going to switch pens. That way I can show you a little bit better what we could do with an ear and show some more depth in it. So we would do that. We'd start with that C shape, right? Then we do the same thing. We put this in here. Now let's add a little bit more character. So let's put a little earlobe on here. Let's put some little like kinks into it. Man Kisser, thanks for the follow. And you have your other piece going here. So then I think shading is really where ears start to pop. Put some shading right there. Put some shading in here. But like ears, they don't look like ears until they're on a face. They're weird. You have your earrings hanging down, maybe they got some cool jewelry or something going on down here. Maybe they got the ring up here. But yeah, the basic thing is just make sure you know how to draw that C, put the lines in there. Boom, bang, bing, bang, boom. And welcome to the team. All right, somebody asked for hands. So let's switch gears. Let's go to hands. So Asbestos dealer, welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. So to draw hands, I like to draw a rectangle or an isosceles trapezoid. That's where one side's a little bit longer than the other. And then I like to put a rectangle on the side. That rectangle is the meat of the thumb. This rectangle is the palm of the hand. And then I do circles where every single knuckle should go. So a circle for the thumb, index, birdie, ring, and pinky. So now we have the basic structure of the hand, and then we're going to do what is called the peanut rule, which is my favorite way to draw fingers. So you just want this peanut shape like that, and you would just connect the peanuts to each other like that. And that's the structure for making a hand. So we'll come over here to where we drew the knuckles, and we'll follow the circle, and we'll draw that peanut, and then we'll do the same thing. Boom. And then we'll do the same thing for the index. Follow the circle, peanut like that. One more peanut, and one more to finish the finger out. Let's do it again. Right here, right here, right there. We'll do it for every single finger. So now we have our thumb and we have all of our fingers. And now you just have to connect the shapes together. So we'll put the webbing from the thumb to the index, the webbing between each finger, and then we'll round out the side of the palm, round out the thumb. Now all you have to do is add your wrist on there, and you got a hand. And this works for the back or the front. So let me show you, I'm going to switch pens. We'll do it again, but with a pen that's not as fat, so we can see what it could look like. So I'll follow that same shape, rectangle, rectangle. We'll do a circle, 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 circle. There's one there. We'll go ahead and do the webbing now. Do that one. Let's do the pinky over here. These fingers are long. Okay. Webbing, webbing, webbing. Palm of the hand, meat of the thumb. Like that. Right. Everybody draws hands. Every video I've seen, people draw hands the most confusing ways ever. And we see hands every day. They shouldn't be so hard to draw. Okay, so if this is the back of the hand, we would have, like if we look at the back of my hand, you have all these tendons, you have veins. I love the wrinkles in between your knuckles. That's a cool detail that people don't draw a lot. And you have your fingernails. So I put the fingernails on. Fingernails. Same with the thumb. And then I just do like little wrinkles for the knuckles here, little wrinkles for the knuckle here. And same over here. You have some on the side here, and then you'd have your little tendons, or whatever they are, bones maybe. But there you go. Like that's how you would draw a hand. That needs to have its fingernails cut. Asbestos dealer, thank you. CTS, your friend J69 2.0, thanks for the follow. Joel Erkinen, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Nicholas, I hope that helps. But that works for anything. You could draw a hand in any position. You could have it doing the peace sign, flipping you off, hang loose, any hand signal or hand gesture. All you got to do is just do that peanut rule, change, thumbs up, hang loose. You could really do anything. You just follow that same structure. Big Diggler Macaroon, Joel Erkinen. Oh, Joel Erkinen, thanks for the share. And Rick Soris, thanks for the follows. Bending or angling fingers. You want to learn how to do that? Like at a profile view? Purple Expression, thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Lily, thanks for the follow. So it's the same thing. So if you were to draw a hand that's profile view where you can see the fingers bending and whatnot, you would do something like this, which is basically our palm, but we've just turned it on its side. Like your thumb would be this rectangle here, which would be the rectangle we drew here. We just put it sideways. Oh, Purple Expression, thank you very much. Yeah, if you guys like this, I sell my artwork on my website. I'll also be in Houston this weekend with the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. So if you're in the area, come out and check out some rad art. Okay, so we'll do the same thing, but we'll do it from the profile to draw bent fingers. So we do a circle for the thumb knuckle here and a circle for the index here. And then if you want to bend the fingers, we're still going to do the peanut rule. So we'll do the peanut, right? But we would just turn the peanut on its side, so something like this. Yeah, I have am I supposed to? I don't know if I can say that. There's a link on my profile, but it's just my name. I'll write it for you real quick. TylerLamph.com. That's where you can find all my stuff online. But yeah, if you guys are in the Houston area, I'll be there this weekend with the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. And if you're in the Dallas area, I'll be there at the end of the month with the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. Then in a few weeks, I think like mid-April, I'll be in Columbus, Ohio. Anyway, so that's how we would bend fingers, is we would just do the peanut, and then we turn it on its side and do a peanut like that. So now we have a finger at this like a side angle that's bent. So let's do like a creepy hand here. So we'd do the peanut shape here, and then we'd turn the peanut at an angle like this, and then maybe we'd have like the last peanut like this. So now you have a finger that's kind of like kinked up, and then you would just follow that same circle to do the birdie finger. So maybe the birdie finger's coming out like this. Then we draw the next one like this, and the last one like this. So now we have all these fingers kind of going in these different directions. We do the same thing with the ring. Oh, I can't forget the thumb. So the thumb would be like in here, but it'd probably be bending kind of into itself or like going away from us, so we wouldn't see very much of it. And then the pinky would be back here. And then like your wrist would be here. Like this hand's like kind of like reaching up, ready to touch something with its finger, like ET or something. But that's how you can draw fingers at different angles and different kinks. You can just kind of turn them, right? So this is your peanut right here, peanut right here, peanut right here. So you could just, all you have to do is connect them and swivel them wherever you want them to be. A trench coat in the wind? Yeah, we could do that. So, let's see. So, yeah, we could do a dog too. No problem. Let's do the trench coat first. In the wind. Yeah, of course, Nicholas. So, let's use the other pen. Clover, thanks for the follow. So let's say we have a guy walking, right? Do the shape of the head. We've got our neck here. Let's do that angled shoulders again. Give him some action here. So his torso's like this. Got his rib cage here. His stomach there. We'd have his butt down here. So we'd angle the hips because he's walking. Put our knee here. Maybe this leg's up like this, maybe. Foot down here. Right? And then his shoulders would be here and here. Now for the trench coat, we'd put it around and like this. And if it's blowing in the wind, kind of maybe bring it out here a little bit. And I think the main trick is to get the edges to have folds and whatnot. So this arm's going to be kind of like back. We'd have wrinkles in the trench coat. We'd have his collar on the trench coat. And then this side of the trench coat might be a little more open. Maybe kind of like folding over his torso a little bit, but then it'd kind of fold behind his leg because it's blowing this way, or wind's going this direction. And then maybe he's wearing like a top hat or something, right? Or a... Maybe we can't even see his face, but we can see his smile in the dark, right? Anyway, so there we have kind of the trench coat blowing in the wind. We could even, if you had, like if it was curved up a little more here, maybe you'd have some of this back flap kind of blowing back here. Maybe this hand's like cocked to the side. Like this. But we've got he's got like a gun right here. His hands rolled around it, his thumbs up like this. King of Curses, I do commissions, man. But yeah, so there's a trench coat blowing in the wind. All right, what are we drawing next? We have a little more room left on the paper. King of Curses, thanks for the follow. Your hopes and dreams? Dude, I wish I could. Yeah, we do dog face. So if we were doing a dog face, let's do it down here. So a retriever. Let's find a good picture of a retriever. This one's cute. So, when drawing a retriever, I would start with a circle, just like any other face. With cats and dogs, I like to do a little more of an oval, like a side-to-side oval, but not a square. A square has corners. A circle goes forever. Then we'll do a line down the middle. And also, if you're looking at any of these and you're like, they're a little at an angle, it's because my phone's tilted a little bit, so my hand doesn't totally block what you guys are seeing. Okay, so we'll do the same thing as we would with a human face. We would draw the eye line, and then we would draw the nose line. The dog's a little bit, its nose is more out at you. So it's going to be closer to the eyes. So for the nose, let's just go ahead and draw a circle here. And this is basically its snout. So we'd draw, like, I'm trying to decide how many lines I want to put on this for you guys. Yeah, a circle goes forever. A square has corners, it ends, but a circle, it never ends, it goes forever. Let's just go with, we're just going to go with this like triangle shape, just so you guys can see where everything is going from or how we're putting it together. And then the lips would kind of come up like this. Its nose, its nostrils would be in here. That's the problem with the Sharpies, it gets a little too cluttered. But yeah, so you'd have the mouth like that. We could put his tongue out, sticking out like this. And then the nose would kind of come up like this, up in this area. And the eyes would be over about like here. So we just do some. Let's just go ahead and fill those in with a little reflection in the side. So now you have the basic shape of the face. Obviously the brows would be like here. The head would kind of come up a little higher up here. And then the main thing that makes the dog turn into the dog is you got to put the ears on here. So Face would come down here. You'd have the chin here underneath the tongue. Cheeks would be like here, cheeks would be like here. But yeah, you put the ears on. So you put these big, they're basically triangles. So it'd be like this. And then same thing over here, angled triangle. And you'd have, they like fold. I just feel like I'm doing all the shapes for you guys so you guys can see how it's put together, but my brain is like freaking out. But then you'd have its cute mane would come down here. And puppy is alive. He a puppy. Look at that cute guy. But that's how you would, or at least how I would draw a golden retriever, is I would start with the main circle of the head and do a line down the middle so I know where the middle of the head is, obviously. And then the eye line, nose line, put the nose on, put the snout on, then place the eyes, the tongue, the bottom chin, ears, and you have your doggy. And then from there you can detail it and go crazy with it if you want. All right, what are we doing next? An English bulldog. I love them with their snaggle teeth. Okay, first let's do an eye again, because that'll be simple, and then we'll come right back to the English bulldog. My voice makes you cry when it's low. All right, so let's do how to draw an eye. How to draw an eye. Yeah, Kaylee, great suggestion. I think that was one of my favorite ones tonight. Was the Fae on the mushroom. That was a fun one. Have a great night. Good luck at work. Okay, so when drawing an eye, most people like to draw a lemon-shaped eye. But I like to start with the shape of the eye and then put the eyelids on it. So I like to do a circle. And you guys know by now, it's a circle. It's not like a square. A square has corners. A circle goes forever, right? And I like to put the tear duct, doesn't matter which side you do it on, but we're going to put the tear duct there. And from there, we're going to put our eyelid around the eyeball. So eyelids kind of curve up from the tear duct, and then they curve around and connect to the other side. And the same with the bottom one, just a little less drastic. And so now you have the shape of the eye. You actually have your upper eyelid, so you can put it underneath your eyebrow that would go somewhere up here, right? And then all you have to do is put your pupil and everything in here. And then if you want to make it prettier, put some eyelashes on there. But that works for any type of eye. So if you want the eye open or closed or anything like that, just draw the circle first, choose your tear duct. If it's kind of closed, just do the same thing, but do it smaller. And now this eye is like drowsy almost. But yeah, start with a circle, put the eyelids on top. Of course, Dylan. Yeah. That's another one of the things where people are like, no, an eyeball has to be like, it's like an angle like this, and then you curve it and you curve it, and it's like all these like weird steps, which you can do, no problem. And they work for different styles and whatnot. But I find that putting the eyeball on first and then putting the lids on top, that's what works best for me. All right, let's do that English bulldog, eh? Let's do it over here by the creepy hand. How to draw an English So it's going to be the same thing as the golden retriever that we did over here. We'll do a circle again. Their heads are almost like square, so we're not going to go as heavy on the oval. But remember, it's not like a square. A square has corners. A circle goes forever. And these guys have really pronounced snouts, like they're like in your face because they have those rolls on top, right? And that's not really in the middle. That's somewhere in the middle. But we'll do the same thing, right? We'll draw our eye line. And then it's a dog, so the nose is actually pretty close to the eyes. Johnny K, thanks for the follow. Matthew Jennings, thanks for the share. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying this, sharing the video helps us get more viewers, and the more viewers we get, the more often I can do these live feeds for you guys. Okay, and then unlike the retriever, bulldogs kind of have like these rectangle noses instead of like the diamond nose. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, thanks for the follow. It's so crazy. Your name is my name too. Charles, thanks for the follow. Sid H, thanks for the follow. So I'm going to come to this middle line here. And yeah, I have a book that's full of short stories, poems, and rhymes and whatnot that I've written along with artwork. And one of the pages just has a little blurb about John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Who is that guy? So I would do this rectangle shape for the bulldog nose. Something like that. And then their nose is kind of like this, comes out here, and it's like a big rectangle, like the same shape. And I'm going to give this guy a little snaggle tooth because he's... Okay, we got a little snaggletooth sticking out there. And then his chin's going to be super wrinkly, so we'll put his chin down like that. But then they got the big foldy lips, which I love. Do something like that. We're going to see more of this lip because there's less snaggletooth over here. We got the chin, so now we want the folds down here. And then we want the fold over here. And maybe he has some drool coming out of his mouth here. And then their nose, we started with the nose, it's this rectangle shape. So we'll just put the nostrils in like this. Then the eyeballs are going to be just on the outsides of these folds here, like the top edges right here. So one eyeball will probably be right about meow. The other one will be right about meow. Look at that guy. Okay, and then they'll have like their cheeks. Their heads are pretty round, so they kind of bounce out of the circle here, bounce out of the circle here. Main Pearl, thank you very much for the gift and welcome to the team. Meow, what do you think I'm saying? Anthony, thanks for the follow. Alan, thanks for the follow. Jim, thanks for the follow. Meow, tell me how fast you've been speeding them. Put the brows on the guy. Maybe some more wrinkles up top here. Dogs, if you know dog anatomy, think about every time you pet a dog, up here on the top of the head, they always have so much meat. And that's because the muscles that make them chomp, they go up and connect to the top of the head up here. So if you go to a museum, you look at like wolf or dog skulls, you'll see they have a bone ridge right through the middle. So like pit bulls have this big cavity on each side of their head, and that's where all that muscle goes in. That's why they can bite so hard. And then you might get like I don't know, like a smaller, maybe like a Shih Tzu or something. It's going to have a smaller indent where that muscle connects because their bite isn't as strong. Anyway, so the dogs, like you'll see I drew it over here on the retriever. We got these bumps. That's like that ridge area where the muscles connect into, right in there. And then the pit bull's the bulldog is the same way. He's got these bumps right there because he's got muscle that connects there. And then his ears are a little smaller than the retriever, but they're popping off the top. And they curve over. So we're going to do something like this. Something like that. And then all we have to do is just fold the ears over like that. And there we go. Oh, I'm kind of off the screen. Sorry about that, guys. But there we go. How to draw an English bulldog. Let's get rid of some of these underlying. I'm just using a white gel pen to get rid of some of these extra lines. Look at that guy. The egg method. Let me look that up. I don't even know what that is. This is the problem with being primarily self-taught, is I figure out what works best for me. So I don't know all these terms like the egg method and I already forgot what it was called, the method that we use to draw faces. Yeah, so I would just think of your bulldog as shapes. Just do the circle, do the line down the middle, put the eyes, the eye line, the nose line on there, and then just build from the shapes. And like you saw me do, I worked from the foreground to the background. So the nose is in the front, the snout's in the front, and then I move to the cheeks, to the eyes, to the ears. Yeah, I'm looking up the egg method for drawing a human, but everybody's just drawing a human. Dragon Ball tribute raw. Oh yeah, we could get so raw with it. Morpho egg method torso. Morpho egg method torso. I still am not seeing anything that says like egg method. Let's do a quick recap. So we went over how to draw hands, we did eyes, we did noses, we did faces, and we went over how to structure them and put them all together. We then did a fairy on a mushroom with a flower and butterflies. Then we did how to draw roses. Then we went down to human anatomy. We put the anatomy together, and then we showed how to draw some dynamic posing. Did ears. We did hands again. We did hands at different finger angles. We did a trench coat. We did a golden retriever. We did eyes again. And then we finished off with the English bulldog. All right, what else should we do? We have a little bit of room down here, and we could probably fill in some other spaces around the paper. Right around here, Ray. Right around here. You need the hand one? Hands are easy, so we can squeeze the hands right in here. So how to draw hands. Again. Okay. So I like to do an isosceles trapezoid or a rectangle like that, and then a rectangle here on the side. That's the palm of the hand, and then this is the meat of the thumb here. You do a circle there for the knuckles. So we'll do circles for knuckles. So circle on the thumb, index finger, birdie finger, ring finger, and pinky finger. And then when I draw fingers, I like to do the peanut rule, which I feel like is the best way to draw fingers, but you're gonna do this peanut shape like this, where one end's bigger and it gets small and then big on the end. And you just connect peanuts together and it creates the shape of the finger. But that makes each knuckle and then the skinny part between the knuckles. And then you can obviously fatten them up or skinny them down, or you can do whatever you want to those fingers to give them the character you're looking for. Now, let's show it in action. So we're gonna follow the circle here for the thumb, and we'll do this peanut shape like this, and we'll do another peanut shape right there like that. Connect them too. Now you have your knuckle, tip of your thumb. And then if we come up here to the index finger, we're gonna do the same thing, but we have an extra knuckle. I'm gonna kind of go into the words, sorry about that. And then we'll do the same thing with the birdie finger. Then we'll do these fingers are so long, oh my gosh. And then we'll do the same thing with the pinky finger. And then we'll connect the webbing here, 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 and here. And now all we have to do is put the meat on the side of the hand here, and then the meat on the thumb here. Put your wrist on here, and you have a hand. If it was pre-recorded, could I respond to it? And now this works for both the back or the front of the hand. If it's the palm of the hand, you could put the meat of the palm in here, tendons in your wrist. But you can use this to draw any hand gesture you want. And we use the same structure to do a hand at a profile view and move the fingers around. This also works if you're having the hand like hold on to anything, if they're holding a weapon, or if they're fighting or they're making fists, anything like that. Following this structure with the rectangles. Here's one I did with a thinner pen, so it looks a little bit better. But that's how I would draw hands. I would do the isosceles trapezoid or the rectangle with one side that's a little uneven. I would do the rectangle for the meat of the palm, and then I would circle out the knuckles and then put the fingers on the knuckles using the peanut rule. Just lots and lots of practice. All right. What else should we do, guys? We've done a lot of cool stuff. I really liked doing the dogs. The dogs were fun. I liked the fairy on the mushroom a lot. That was fun to mess around with. Realistic noses, I mean, it just comes down to the type of art you do. I can show you how to structure a nose, but being realistic, it just depends. It just depends how much you want to detail it. Spawn, we can definitely do spawn. I entered a couple submissions into the Spawn comic book cover contest that Todd McFarlane was doing, and I didn't get them. And I feel like my covers were so rad. Yeah, I want to just print up my own mock-up covers and then just slap them onto an actual Spawn comic book. Because they were cool. I drew a picture. If you know who Frank Frazetta is, he has a painting called The Death Dealer, where it's this big barbarian-looking armored dude on the back of a horse and there's blood and stuff. And I drew Spawn on the back of the Violator in the same pose, but with chains flying everywhere, and there's like green blood and stuff in the dirt. You have the bats instead of the birds flying in this. It was cool, but whatever. Whatever, Todd. So let's do. And then I did a Gunslinger, Spawn Gunslinger comic cover where he's like in the gunslinger stance with his legs apart and his guns at his sides pointed at you like he was just doing a standoff. And the barrels have smoke blowing in the wind and stuff. So let's do how to draw Spawn. Actually, I think I have the black and white Spawn artwork right here. Let me show you. So there's the black and white Gunslinger. Got the smoke blowing out of the barrels and everything. You got the cloud of dust blowing in the wind. You got the bats flying around him. But that lost. And then I have this one. So this is the Spawn on the Violator right here. So you have the Violator in the dirt. All the skulls around in the newspapers and the boats and the cans and the skeleton and the rats. And you have Spawn on his back right here with his cape blowing in the wind and his chains going crazy and the bats flying in the air. Yeah, he's so fun to draw. I think I forgot to put a piece of paper in there. Okay, let's get on drawing Spawn. So we're going to do the same thing as we did with drawing faces before. So we'll start with a circle. It's not like a square. A square has corners, but a circle, it goes forever. And we draw a line down the middle. And then really, you don't need to draw the nose and everything because the mask kind of covers it. But we're going to put the eyes on here anyway. And then we'll draw a line for the nose. Even though it doesn't really matter. Joe, thanks for the share. All right. And then so now we just need to put the eyes on. So the eyes would probably be about this far apart. That's why the middle line's so good. You can evenly space the eyes on each side. And the eyes are going to be like these angled triangles. That one's a little dark on the bottom. That's all right. So now we have the eyes on there. And the head just needs to extend a little bit higher on the top up here. And then we just put, Spawn has kind of a good jawline. So we're going to put this jawline on here like this. And now all we have to do is put the actual design on his skull or on his mask. Put this one down here like this. And that's, I mean, that's basically Spawn. Make his cheeks a little bit bigger. And then you can do cool things like put the wrinkles in his brow because he's all pissed off all the time. And then let's switch to the Sharpie. There you go. So there's Spawn. And then if you wanted, you could put his cowl coming out the side over here. All right, guys, let's do another recap. So we did hands, we did eyes, noses, we did faces and how to draw them at different angles and all the different grids you can do. We did a fairy on a mushroom, and we did flowers and butterflies with the fairy. Then we did a rose, how to draw the rose. We did the human body and anatomy, how to put everything together and make sure everything's the right proportions. And then we did some tips and tricks on how to make it a little more dynamic. We did ears, we did hands again, and went over how to make them look extra nice. We did trench coat. We did fingers at different angles. We did a golden retriever, English bulldog. Then we came back up here. We did some eyes, another hand, and then we finished off down here with Spawn. And I think I'm going to call it here. We've been going for 90 minutes. So if you guys enjoyed this, give me a follow. Hop in for the next live. We'll draw whatever you guys want to draw. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. Have a great night.